Hello and welcome back to the Learning Network. Today I'm going to talk about 5 strategies that you can use literally today, tomorrow, to navigate the new health and movement science syllabus. Now, I know that many of you have been holding back on this and you've been waiting for your Year 12s to finish, your Year 12s to graduate. We're at the time of recording, we're in week 4 of term 4, 2023. And we literally have just over 12 months to get our head around it. So the first stage is the familiarization stage of the syllabus. That's next year. That's 2024. And essentially now, 2025 is implementation stage. It's teaching stage where we actually start to teach this to our Year 11. So look, I know with lots of planning, it does take a bit of strategy, a bit of time, but I've got your back with this. And it is literally my core mission to support your time, your precious time, energy, and your well-being as you navigate your way through this new syllabus. And we have our syllabus, it's been released since about August. So we've had about 3 months to get our head around it, but it's really time to start ramping things up a little bit. And I'm going to share with you today what you can do literally in the space of an hour or so to just get your head around it, to find your feet with it, and then start moving forward with your plan of attack with this new syllabus. So the first one is I'd love for you to head over to the Curriculum New South Wales website and access our new health and movement science syllabus. It's fairly easy. It doesn't sit on the NESA website like it does with that navigation. It is literally on the Curriculum New South Wales website, and it's an interactive syllabus like quite a few of our new syllabi. So it's interactive, it's online. You get to navigate your way through, you get to see the syllabus itself, the outcomes, all of the support documents, the rationale, everything sits on that the Curriculum New South Wales website. So that's the first thing I'd love for you to do. Just navigate your way through it. Have a little look around and see what it looks like inside the Health and Movement Science syllabus and where that sits on that website. What I'd then love for you to do is download a copy of it, save it in your OneDrive or in your Google Drive, or essentially print it off. I still love having that physical copy. I'm very much a digital person. I love technology. It doesn't scare me at all. All of my organisation is in Google Drive still, but I love to have that physical copy in my hands. And I've actually got a copy of the PDHPE syllabus and the HMS syllabus, side by side, because I want to see what's in, what's out. And I've got some documentations around that I shared early on that I'd love to share with you. So keep an eye out for that. And I will just make everything just a bit easier to navigate your way through things. So have a little look, have a little explore, have a little read. You'll notice quite a few differences. Obviously, the options are out. Much of the content has been embedded into our 2 focus areas. They are called focus areas now. So we have 2 focus areas in Year 11, 2 focus areas in Year 12. So they're no longer called cores, they're called focus areas. So 2 in Year 11, 2 Year 12. We also then have our depth studies, which are in Year 11 and in Year 12. In Year 12, one of them is going to be assessed. And then we have our collaborative investigation in Year 11 only. So it's not in Year 12. Our collaborative investigation sits in Year 11. So look, they're the main differences. In a nutshell, 60-40 of skills versus knowledge and understanding is what the syllabus looks like. Much of the content is the same. Don't be too freaked out. I know when many of us first started looking at it, we were like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like most of it is still in. Obviously, there are some things that have been updated. The Sustainable Development Goals is an update. Obviously, less focus on Ottawa Charter. Obviously, Ottawa Charter still is embedded in there, but less focus on that. Things with psychology and sleep, lots of stuff around that is fairly new, especially using that research and those practical applications of case studies, and also some stuff on just motivation and embedded a little bit more and further delve into, as well as technology in sport, a lot of new stuff around that. So no heaps of changes, but obviously navigate your way through. So that's my first strategy. My second strategy is to complete a SOAR analysis of your PDHPE typical cohort that comes through. Because this syllabus has been around for 20 odd years and we get the same sort of kids doing our courses, I'd love for you to have a look at, who are the kids that typically take our courses? Who are the kids that decide to do PDHPE? What are their challenges? What are their strengths? That type of thing. So the SOAR analysis provides you with a really great snapshot as to like a planning tool, a strategic planning tool to move you forward. So SOAR stands for, so it's an acronym. SOAR stands for the strengths, so the strengths of your cohort, I would say, like the typical PE kids that you get in stage 6. O stands for opportunities. So with this new syllabus, what opportunities do you have with your kids? Obviously, the collaborative investigation provides us with lots of opportunities to embed that research, for it to be practical, that hands-on learning. The depth studies do the same, that really good deep dive into things. And that was a lot of the feedback in the consultation process, that with PE, with the stage 6 PE syllabus, how it currently is, it's very surface level, whereas we have, 2 focus areas now rather than, 4 bits that we have to kind of get our head around. So those depth studies really get the kids to provide that really good analysis. So S for strengths, O for opportunities, A for aspirations. So what are you, like moving forward, what are you hoping for the kids to achieve? What are you hoping to see at the end of the day with this new syllabus? And then results, like what results do you want to have for your kids? What is your, what are some of your goals around that? Obviously, it does look a bit different. New name, new focuses, but I really think at the core of it, it still is PDHPE, but it's now called Health and Movement Science. Obviously, there is greater focuses with different things, but we should still be attracting the same sort of kids. I know that there has been a bit of a discussion around PE teachers with the idea of science in the name, but I think if we sell the course as it's just like the old PDHPE course, it's just more of a modern language for lots of people to understand, but for also for it to be recognised across Australia and obviously around the globe, that there is this, this name, Health and Movement Science. So hopefully we still get the same kids taking our courses like we have always. Okay, let's look at strategy number 4. I would love for you to have a look at the overview of the depth studies and collaborative investigation. Remember, it's just one collaborative investigation that the kids have to undertake in year 11 only, not in year 12. So there's no focus in year 12 on this. It's just year 11. And there's an assessment task attached to that. That has been mandated from NESA. We do have to assess this part of the course. So it's up to us to work out where that sits within the big scope of our scope and sequence, our scope of our scope. Obviously, inside the Health and Movement Science membership, we've been having discussions around what that would look like. So we kind of got off a call only the other week around what that might look like for our students. And where would we sit the collaborative investigation? Do we want to have it at the end of a focus area, or the 2 focus areas? Or do we want to kind of sit in the middle, like have one leading and then maybe the body and mind emotion? If our kids are a bit more exercise science-based kids that kind of like that type of thing, go the body and mind emotion first and then have a collaborative investigation based on that. Do we then want to go into focus area 1 and kind of have that, sitting third? What will that look like in year 11? Of course, we have our depth studies as well. Where are they going to fit in the grand scheme of things in our scope and sequence? So inside our Health and Movement Science membership, our members have been talking about that, like where are things going to sit? How is this going to roll out for our kids? And I'll get you guys to go back to your SOAR analysis. Like, what are our strengths here? What are the opportunities that we can now see moving forward? What are our aspirational areas to really improve, and where do our results want to be? So really having a good big picture approach to the way it's going to look. And then obviously we have our depth studies. There is a mandated assessment task based on our depth studies. In year 12, we have minimum of 2 depth studies in year 11, 2 in year 12. One has to be assessed in year 12. So what is that going to look like? Are we actually going to assess a depth study in year 11 to help set the kids up for success in year 12? That's another conversation we had inside our HMS membership. Like, what is that going to look like for the kids? Are we actually going to have, like, task 1, is that a depth study? Obviously using the skills that will transfer into year 12. So will that be a depth study there? Task 2 might be our collaborative investigation. And then task 3 will be typically our end of course exam, our prelim exam, year 11 exam, that type of thing. So because we only have 3 assessment tasks still in year 11 for HMS, so literally, if we really think about it, we have 1 task that might look a bit different to the collaborative investigation and the exam. So, which is good. We only have to kind of get our head around 1, main one. Of course, there's lots of work with the collaborative investigation. They're set up for that. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is to really start to think about your scope and sequence. So as I mentioned before, getting a general overview of the syllabus itself, so you get a good sense of what it's about, reading all you can, listening to a number of podcast episodes that I've done, watching, observing. If you're in the Health and Movement Science membership, you have quite a few different masterclasses that we've already released for the new syllabus. And then really starting to think, maybe whipping out the post-it notes and big butcher's paper and thinking, okay, where do we want all this to sit? Where do we want our first unit of work to sit? How is that going to look for moving forward for our syllabus? So we obviously have our 2 focus areas in year 11. We have health for individuals and communities, and then we have the body and mind in motion. Where's that going to fit into the grand scheme of things? Where's our collaborative investigation going to go, our depth studies, and so on? And obviously for year 12, we have a similar kind of thing. We don't have our depth studies, our collaborative investigation to worry about. We need to think about our first focus area, health in an Australian and global context. Where is that going to sit in our scope and sequence? And where is training for improved performance going to sit within the grand scheme of things? Of course, our depth studies, where are we going to sit those as well? And then we have our trial exam. So all those things to consider as we dive into our scope and sequence. We can't just do our scope and sequence without thinking about our assessment tasks that go with that, and obviously the outcomes that will be assessed as a result of those assessment tasks. Okay, and the last one that I'd love to share with you is a strategy. I prepared like a navigate your way through the Health and Movement Science syllabus webinar back in August. If you want to head to the learnnet.com/new HMS. So the learnnet.com/new HMS is where you can find a recording that I did around the new syllabus. Obviously, a really good visual. You'll see what the main changes are in terms of what's in, what's out. Some main focus around NESA mandatory requirements, that type of thing, as well as some details around the collaborative investigation and the depth studies. Of course, inside our membership, we have already covered bits around those, but of course, the next 2 years is our time to really familiarise ourselves with it. Obviously, next year we'll be focused on year 11, getting our heads around it, making sure we get it right, and then the year after is actually teaching it. So 2025 is implementation stage for year 11, and then of course 2026 is implementation stage, or the back end of 25, term 425, and then obviously, 2025 back end into 2026, brand new HSC exam at the end of that year. So look, our plan of attack is to definitely ramp up all of our support. And if you followed me for a little while now, for the last 12 years, but also the last 3.5 years inside our CAFS support, things look a bit different. Things look like free support and advice, obviously through social media, inside our free accounts on Instagram and Facebook, but also inside our PDHPE and CAFS community Facebook group, a private Facebook group where we're definitely providing lots of value inside there, which will help you really feel comfortable, feel confident around the new syllabus, because at the end of the day, we're all in it together. And if we don't work together, if we don't have that connection and that collaboration, that sense of community, then we're kind of, we're doing it alone. So if you have any questions at all at any stage around the Health and Movement Science syllabus, please don't hesitate to reach out. It's my absolute pleasure to support you, to just get your head around it, but also to make you feel super confident and comfortable with it. So until next time, I will talk to you very soon. But again, if you need any help with anything, or if you want to access that free webinar, the learnet.com/new HMS is where you need to go. Thanks so much, team, and I'll see you soon.